We can do more. We'll do some more later.
More later. It's time for the Pat Gambino show. We don't know what that means either, Pat.
All we know is you gotta do something.
Anything, Pat.
Come on, Pat, you gotta do something.
You can tell us about any organizations you've joined in the last couple of years.
Oh!
Any contest you've been
I'll bring
involved
some of those history things to the crowd.
Oh!
Yeah.
The pseudo history?
Yeah, in a bag somewhere. This is the Weirdo Archives. We have lots of neat stuff in here. We can even have a grab bag.
Are these the originals, or do we send those to the line?
This is everything. We even have a gathering of men with Robert Bly.
Is that the male?
The male mother thing.
Okay. Because I actually adopted Matt. I'm his male mother.
Male mother?
Yeah.
An older male to help you.
As long as there's no suckling involved.
There's nothing.
It hurts so bad we cut that part out right away.
I don't have to touch him. I just have to listen to it, which is bad enough.
That's what most people have to deal with. Victor?
Chip call on the phone.
I'm ready to show up for the wedding. It's must be crushed.
Mike, is she coming at all? You know?
I left a message, but I don't know where she is. So.
No, I understand.
Victor, how do you feel, Victor, about the fact that Andrea has to show up for the wedding? I mean, I hate to sensationalize all this, but
Dave,
we care about you. We want to know.
He's obviously thrilled.
I mean, the look on your face tells a lot. As long as she's punctual.
He succeeded. He's a big hit. He may get some votes.
What? Well, see, Andrea and Victor
Where is he?
married here, and I think this
Somewhere outside of Binghamton, I think.
She's afraid to come around.
The official card.
Really?
I guess you
You want me to explain what history of the world
What's the best you call it?
That'd be a good idea.
History of the world is 3 pages of student bloopers from essays compiled by a social studies teacher in high school. And I got them from a friend of mine, and I passed them along to Joe. And they're just excerpts from essays, and it gives in order from the beginning to the end, a complete history of the world. And it may sound a little boring, but it's good.
If you like history and you understand, it'll be good.
Yeah, you don't have to.
If you don't really know what I'm saying, it's going to be kind of messed up. Jerry Falwell! Joe, where's those things?
You know, you look remarkably like the young ones here. The guy with the stars in his head there.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, no, I mean, just a little bit like.
I mean, you don't have any metal in your
Just
head.
like, get your topic, and then tell us in community in a month later. So I'm like, okay, so that's the topic we're putting out.
No, do something else.
Do something else.
They can't be found for now.
You do something else for making
I
leadership?
have enough play. You have to do that later, as soon as when he finds them.
She has very strong potential.
Demek was standing there by himself holding a golf club and a tuxedo, and this man came up to him and said, "Pretty skinny, aren't you?" "I'm pretty skinny too." "How much do you weigh?" And he said, 150, 155. "I bet I can pick you up." He came up off the ground and started walking around with him. And the whole time he's videotaping. It's like, and so this guy's face is right up in the camera. He had a
glasses and a Yankee cap on.
Yeah, he's like a 50.
I'm kind of skinny too, and he's like,
50 or 60-year-old guy with a baseball cap on. I mean, you know you're in trouble.
Was he in the shower?
Huh? How was the coconut soda?
Really gross.
Yeah.
Really gross.
The wild cherry is actually pretty good. We have tropical fruit punch, and orange and pineapple.
Is that the stuff that...
She'd be more happy to.
The orange stuff is nasty.
I have to go try that.
Really.
Have you read, did you read the preface about how it was filmed? He said that he actually
Anyone need packing bubbles? Just let me know.
Yes. No, you would actually observe. Really?
I'm focusing on. I'm trying to figure it out.
No, I got the blood running down my face.
Yeah, well, I mean, Joe's paying $100 for this thing, so we gotta keep it running. We gotta take it. We have the, if you wanna see schedules from the first Weirdo party, they're on the wall. We have schedules every year.
I don't like the relationship. Well, I didn't like the part about,
Okay.
We also have Joe Cole.
These are newlyweds right here, by the way.
How long have you been married? Interview.
1 month.
How long have you been married?
1 month.
1 month. Did you have a wedding in a big church? Or was it-
We will. The religious wedding is upcoming.
Oh, so it's sort of a two-parter. There's a legal wedding and then a religious wedding. So is it done at City Hall? Or
Yes.
in New York City?
Know everything.
You are
Kew Gardens, Queens. Okay.
I'm doing touching ceremony. It took all of about 2 seconds.
Have you ever been to Baltimore? No.
It's an addictive substance. They should
I'm
have
going soon. I'm going soon.
Like sex.
There's the thought.
I've never gone to.
Lucky you.
You just said a lot about yourself, but I will.
Are you a musician? What? Are you a musician? How did you meet?
Very interesting story, very long story.
What sort of music he was moving my cousin's piano?
Oh, you were moving your piano.
I took it from there. Very interesting.
You saw him and you knew right away this was the guy that you want to marry someday.
You bet.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Whatever next. More questions. Enough.
1 month anniversary.
Excerpts from
That's
English
great.
history exams.
That's about all I have. Have you ever?
Freshman high school. Through senior in college. That's like age 14.
What's your?
Yeah.
What instrument did you play? Bebop.
It's all
Play piano. Okay.
I still play it.
And what do you do now? What do you do? What do you spend your time doing now? Do you work, go to school?
Yes and yes.
Joe.
Why didn't you find it?
Well, just go on mine. Just go on to the next. Just go on to the next.
Right, that's what I said. He's getting all upset.
We can loop back.
I am upset. I want to read that stuff.
What's that?
Well, you don't have to do it. We'll do it when we find it.
What happened?
The history bloopers from the students. All right, you want to hear some right-wing poetry from Gia?
Gia Comolli.
Oh my gosh, really?
Right.
Where's G anyway?
All right, little
She sent this in.
little right-wing poetry from Gia.
Okay.
This is titled
We have the two Republicans.
What of us? Question mark. Save the whales, save the seals, save the earth and other spiels. With all these urgencies we face, what becomes of the human race? Should we move to another place? First poem. Fond of the 60s, Fonda, the 60s. I'm glad I wasn't in the 60s revolution because that was backwards evolution. Burning flags with good old Abby, who died from drugs. Now that's pretty shabby. I missed Woodstock, music, drugs, and fornication. They were proud and showed it to the nation. Vietnam. Commies. Vietnam, commies, and Miss Hanoi, who went there to see who she could. Could have known. Yes. Run that through again. Vietnam, commies, and Miss Hanoi, who went there to see who she could annoy. Now she'll go see Saddam. Wouldn't that be insane? If she came back as Jane Hussein. Next poem. It's pretty sad. What do we got here? Ode to a liberal Unfinished, in parentheses.
Oh, boy.
John, you pinko, you capitalist subversive, with your left-wing ideas, you try to be coercive. You have so many bleak, despairing views. Personally, I think you have loose screws. The U.S. is in such a terrible state. It's the Republicans' fault. There's no debate. It's in parentheses. No, it's in quotes. You can create your own paragraphs as long as they conform to the views of right-wing extremism. That's unfinished. Okay. Where's the,
I'm sure it was really good though.
where's the, Bernie gets
Who is this Gia person?
This was from Gia. She came to the first Weirdo party and brought us a big pack of liver pudding. We still have in the refrigerator, I think.
This is a poor substitute for history bloopers. I want you to know. 8.5. This is titled 8.5% sales tax and growing. New York, the site of the next Democratic convention. The people in the city will give it new dimension. Of income tax fraud, Leona stands accused. When she cried out at the trial, people were amused. What she really deserves is to spend life in jail because of her behavior. She deserves no bail. The Reverend Al Sharpton, you won't see at Mass. He's busy showing the world he's an ass. You'll see him protesting along with Jesse Jackson, whose motives we know are political action. With Marla Maples, there's Donald Trump, who cheats on his wife with a goddamn Trump. But that's okay, because he's built the Taj Mahal, where you lose all your money and drink alcohol. Dinkins, he's the head of the city, but life in New York, it still ain't pretty. Who can ride on the subway to go see the Mets? But you better carry a gun, like Bernard gets. Me, I really like the train, except when there's a break in the water main. And now for a final farewell to the Apple, it's hello to Philly, where bonds are worth scrapple. Well, that's about it for the right-wing poetry.
Well read.
Next, we'll have to,
Sensitively administered.
then we'll have to wait for Joe to find the historical bloopers, hopefully by then. 3 o'clock at night.
Does anyone want to watch Anoop and Dave play Twister?
Sure.
Yeah. But you have to hum.
Frank has watched
You
up.
have to hum circumstances.
I thought I was taking on all covers.
Okay. Anybody who wants to challenge you?
I don't know how to play that.
I'll call out a color and a body part, and you have to match them up. It'll
I
either
thought
be.
there was a spinner.
I'm
Kind
gonna
of
call it.
was.
Well, shoot. All right.
Well, you can play with the spinner. It's over there by Frank.
Go for it. Here. Be a spinner.
Who needs this to be suspended?
You have to have a competitor.
Who's the competitor?
Svetlana, have you ever played Twister before?
No, and sorry.
Julie, how about it?
What?
You need to participate in one of them.
Okay. What do I do?
Julie's gonna take on Dave and Twister. Let's have 3 people playing.
Come on, Randy, also.
Demek, how about it?
Go back.
You ever played Twister before?
Never had. I haven't either.
I've got to broaden your horizons. Twister's a great game. Oh, join them, and Julie.
It's fresh out.
Okay. How do you play? You have to.
It's just an excuse to
Get it
climb
to
on top
somebody.
of people.
This guy's like Gumby, man.
Now, Janet's going to explain the rules to us, but I can't film her. So I'm going to film Randy while Janet talks.
Okay.
Okay, so
Reading
they
up the
will
wall,
spin the spinner, and when they spin the spinner, it will land on a color and a body part.
But are there enough body parts? How many body parts?
There are 4 body parts, 2 hands and 2
Dave has
feet.
4.
Well, you have
Left foot, right hand, right foot, left hand. Spin the spinner and it says, that's right in the middle.
It's 12 o'clock.
Well, you're the good, you do this.
Alright,
We use our own body parts, like change it.
alright, right foot on blue.
And it can be any one of these blue.
Any of the blues. But your right foot has to be on blue. You need somebody in there to twist with.
Take shoes off.
Oh, we both have to do it at the same
Yes.
time?
No, I think a different person.
Actually, I believe it should be a guy and a girl because you're gonna be twisted and contorted in kind of strange positions.
Well, I mean,
Well, Joe and I did it last night. We had a really good time. So.
Your right foot has to be on a blue circle.
I knew it.
Okay.
Got it.
Who knows about me?
Okay, right
Hey,
foot's
you're
on
the
a
only
blue
one.
circle. Now,
I thought you all, like, each one.
There's only two of you
Yeah,
playing.
yeah, I think each one gets.
Who else is playing?
Join in.
left hand green.
Oh yeah, and you have to race for it, right? Because
You're the one who
this
just
doesn't
have to
make
be
any
aware.
sense.
It's
You
just-
always have rules.
Yeah, I think each one
Each
gets their own
individual
color.
gets his own designation.
No, it's okay.
They
No,
should
no, no,
all
I
be-
see.
Max, come on.
Okay.
Left foot red.
Because Joe's been
Joe's not
practicing.
stupid.
Joe's been practicing.
Right foot red. Left foot yellow.
Hey, wait a minute, you can't have two in the same one. You gotta go to the free one.
Thank you. I don't
Right
think they do
hand
it this way.
green. Left foot green.
You can't, we can't. No. Hold it. You can't because it's not possible. If all the squares are colored.
Okay, try another one.
Again.
Red.
Left hand yellow.
Can you speed it up a little bit?
Yeah,
Left hand
please.
green.
What?
Left hand green.
Oh,
Speed.
it's already there.
Right foot blue.
Hey, Dave, let one fly.
Oh, man.
cue, too.
Left hand red.
This man has remarkable control of his body.
You're good at this, Joe.
Left hand yellow.
Oh, now you're gonna get in trouble. We should have like done.
Right foot, right hand red.
Right foot, right hand.
We go to overtime.
I don't think this is being done right.
Right foot green.
Start again.
But they look so
It's in a bookcase.
Right foot, come back. That's your left foot.
Hey, Dave, I don't hear you humming.
Huh?
I don't hear you humming.
Yeah.
I thought everyone was supposed to.
Only Dave.
Just Dave.
Left hand red.
Oh, gross.
That doesn't look too good. You're doing that,
I
Dave.
think we're gonna need some lubrication for the rest of the day.
Left
Get a good shot of this.
Left foot blue.
Next.
Left hand green.
All right, Joe.
Oh, man. There are hundreds. There are countless scenes like this going on right now. on Christmas.
Hurry up. Hurry up.
Two remaining. Right foot
It was. It already is.
That was left.
Oh. I win. Oh, man.
right hand green.
Oh, Joe's out. That means you're the winner. You know what happened.
Pat, you read.
Next.
Pat's got his bloopers now.
Anybody else want to take on the champion? Pat's got him?
Yeah, Pat's got him.
Hey, let's head to him.
Here we go. Pat.
Anybody enjoys history bloopers, I suggest you come into the room.
Come in.
We're doing bloopers if you want.
What's entertaining?
That's about it. He has to make this slow
Come
dramatic.
on, Aphrodite.
Is that Aphrodite?
That's Aphrodite.
I don't think we have any beef with
Aphrodite, come on.
I don't think we have any beef with Alice.
Come on. We need the goddess of love, Aphrodite.
If Ron were here, he'd talk about his
You
trip
gotta
to
stand.
Aphrodite.
No, you gotta stand right here.
Standard.
Yeah.
What do we?
Gambino?
All right. The following is a history of the world. Uh-oh.
And that's the elevator.
Compiled by, who cares, some high school English teacher who
Oh, this is great.
who gleaned
This is great.
who gleaned
Janet,
this from actual student bloopers on essay tests
real essays.
collected by history and English teachers from the 8th grade through college. That's like age 13 through 22, basically. All right.
Except for you, 18. Except for you, it makes it 13 through 35.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever it is. Okay. The inhabitants of ancient Egypt were called mummies. They lived in the Sahara Desert and traveled by Camelot. The climate of the Sahara is such that the inhabitants have to live elsewhere. So certain areas of the desert are cultivated by irritation. The Egyptians built the pyramids in the shape of a huge triangular cube. The pyramids are a range of mountains between France and Spain. The Bible is full of interesting caricatures. In the first book of the Bible, Genesis, Adam and Eve were created from an apple tree. One of their children, Cain, once asked, "Am I my brother's son?"
I think I wrote this.
God asked Abraham to sacrifice Isaac on Mount Montezuma. Jacob, son of Isaac, stole his brother's birthmark. Jacob was a patriarch who brought up his 12 sons to be patriarchs, but they did not take to it. One of Jacob's sons, Joseph, gave refuse to the Israelites.
I believe I might have been this long.
Pharaoh forced, okay, this is something new now. I'm going to make a pause and go on to a new mistake, so to speak. Pharaoh forced the Hebrew slaves to make bread without straw. Moses led them to the Red Sea where they made unleavened bread, which is bread made without any ingredients. Afterwards, Moses went up on Mount Sinai to get the Ten Commandments. Okay, something new now. David was a Hebrew king skilled at playing the lyre. He fought with the philatelists. A race of people who lived in biblical times. Solomon, one of David's sons, had 500 wives and 500 porcupines. Without the Greeks, we wouldn't have history. The Greeks invented 3 kinds of columns: Corinthian, Doric, and Ironic. They also had myths. A myth is a female moth. One myth says that the number of... Sorry.
Oh, this is the pause.
Try it again. One myth says that the mother of Achilles dipped him in the river Styx until he became intolerable.
My mom also did the same thing.
Yeah.
Our mom.
Achilles appears in Iliad by Homer. Homer also wrote the Odyssey, in which Penelope was the last hardship that Ulysses endured on his journey. Actually, Homer was not written by Homer, but by another man of that name. Socrates was a famous Greek teacher who went about giving people advice. They killed him. Socrates died from an overdose of wedlock. Okay, in the Olympic Games, Greeks ran races, jumped, hurled the biscuits, and threw the java. The reward to the victor was a coral reef.
Coral reef.
The government of Athens was democratic. Wait a minute, try it again. The government of Athens was democratic because people took the law into their own hands. There were no laws in Greece as the mountains were so high that they couldn't climb over to see what the neighbor was doing. When they fought with the Persians, the Greeks were outnumbered because the Persians had more men. Oh, God. Eventually, the Romans conquered the Geeks. History calls people.
One of them.
Sorry about that. I haven't read, but it's all to read it.
And for Pete the Ghoulish, that's exactly true.
Oh.
History calls people Romans because they never stayed in one place for very long. At Roman banquets, the guests wore garlics in their hair. Julius Caesar extinguished himself on the battlefields of Gaul. The Ides of March murdered him because they thought he was going to be a king. Nero was a cruel tyranny who would torture his poor subjects by playing the fiddle to them. Then came the Middle Ages. King Alfred conquered the Danes. King Arthur lived in the age of chivalry. King Harold mustered his troops before the Battle of Hastings. Joan of Arc was canonized by Bernard Shaw. And victims of the Black Death grew boobs on their necks.
Bubonic.
Finally, Magna Carta provided that no free man should be hanged twice for the same crime. In medieval times, most of the people were alliterate, A-double-L-I-T-E. The greatest writer of the time was Chaucer, who wrote many poems and verses and also wrote literature. Another tale tells of William Tell, who shot an arrow through an apple while standing on his son's head. The Renaissance was an age in which more individuals felt the value of their human being. Martin Luther was nailed to the church door in Wittenberg for selling papal indulgence. He died a horrible death, being excommunicated by a bull. Okay. It was the painter Donatello's interest in the female nude that made him the father of the Renaissance. It was an age of great inventions and discoveries. Gutenberg invented the Bible. So Walter Raleigh is a historical figure because he invented cigarettes. Another important invention was the circulation of blood.
What year was that?
As I say,
Before your time, buddy.
Circulation of blood.
Sir Francis Drake circumcised the world.
Yeah, the world is very upset.
Sir Francis Drake circumcised the world with a 100-foot clipper. So he did. Oh, God. The government of England was a limited mockery.
Still is.
Henry VIII found walking difficult because he had an abscess on his knee. Queen Elizabeth was the Virgin Queen. As a queen, she was a success. When Elizabeth exposed herself before her troops, they all shouted, "Hurrah!" Then her navy went out and defeated the Spanish armadillo. The greatest writer of the Renaissance was William Shakespeare. Shakespeare never made much money and is famous only because of his plays.
I love that one.
He lived at Windsor with his merry wives, writing tragedies, comedies, and errors. In one of Shakespeare's famous plays, Hamlet rations out his situation by relieving himself in a long soliloquy. In another, In another, Lady Macbeth tries to convince Macbeth to kill the king by attacking his manhood. Romeo and Juliet are an example of a heroic couplet. Writing at the same time as Shakespeare was, Miguel Cervantes, he wrote Don Quixote. The next great author was John Milton. Milton wrote Paradise Lost. Then his wife died, and he wrote Paradise Again. During the Renaissance, America began. Christopher Columbus was a great navigator who discovered America while cursing around the Atlantic. His ships were called the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Fe. Later, Later, the Pilgrims crossed the ocean, and this was known as Pilgrim's Progress. When they landed at Plymouth Rock, they were greeted by the Indians, who came down the hill, rolling their war whoops before them. The Indians' squaws carried porpoises on their back. Many of the Indian heroes were killed, along with their cabooses, which proved very fatal to them. Next, the winter of 1620 was a hard one for the settlers. Many people died and many babies were born. Captain John Smith was responsible for all of it. One of the causes of the Revolutionary Wars was the English put tax in their tea, T-A-C-K-S. Also, the colonists would send their parcels through the post without stamps. During the war, the Redcoats and Paul Revere were throwing balls over stone walls. The dogs were barking and the peacocks were crowing. Finally, the colonists won the war and no longer had to pay for taxis.
Yeah.
Delegates from the original 13 states formed a contented Congress. Thomas Jefferson, a virgin, and Benjamin Franklin were two signers of the Declaration of Independence. Franklin had gone to Boston carrying all his clothes in his pocket and a loaf of bread under each arm. He invented electricity by rubbing cats backwards. And declared, a horse divided against itself cannot stand. Franklin died in 1790 and is still dead.
I like that one.
George Washington married Martha Curtin, and in due time became the father of our country. Then, the Constitution of the United States was adopted to secure domestic hostility. Under the Constitution, the people enjoyed the right to keep bear arms.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln became America's greatest president. Lincoln's mother died in infancy. And he was...
That's a Weekly World News story right there.
And he was born in a log cabin which he built with his own hands. When Lincoln was president, he wore only a tall silk hat. Oh God. He said, "In onion there is strength." Ow. Abraham Lincoln wrote the Gettysburg Address while traveling from Washington to Gettysburg on the back of an envelope.
Francis got key at the other side.
He also freed the slaves by signing the Emasculation Proclamation, and the 14th Amendment gave the ex-Negroes citizenship. But the Ku Klux Klan would torture, T-O-R-C-H-E-R, and lynch the ex-Negroes and other innocent victims. It claimed to represent law and order. On the night of April 14th, 1865, Lincoln went to the theater and got shot in his seat by one of the actors in a moving picture show. The believed assassinator was John Wilkes Booth, a supposedly insane actor. This ruined Booth's career. Meanwhile, in Europe, the Enlightenment was a reasonable time. Voltaire invented electricity and also wrote a book called Candy. Gravity was invented by Isaac Walton.
I thought that was a thing to keep people down.
It is chiefly noticeable in the autumn when the apples are falling over the Bach was the most famous composer in the world, and so was Handel.
It was a tie.
Handel was half German, half Italian, and half English. He was very large. Bach died from 1750 to the present. Beethoven wrote music even though he was deaf. He was so deaf he wrote loud music. He took long walks in the forest even when everyone was calling for him. Beethoven expired in 1827 and later died for this.
This is college.
France was in a very serious state. The French Revolution was accomplished before it happened. The Marseillaise was the theme song of the French Revolution, and it catapulted into Napoleon. During the Napoleonic Wars, the crowned heads of Europe were trembling in their shoes. When the Spanish guerrillas came down, G-O-R-I-L-L-A-S, came down from the hills and nipped at Napoleon's flanks. Napoleon became ill with bladder problems. He was very tense and unrestrained. He wanted an heir to inherit his power, but since Josephine was a baroness, she couldn't bear children. Baroness, she couldn't bear children. The sun never set on the British Empire because the British Empire... I'm sorry, I gotta start again. We'll try this again. The sun never set on the British Empire because the British Empire is in the east and the sun sets in the west. Queen Victoria was the longest queen. She sat on a thorn for 65 years. Her reclining years and finally the end of her life were exemplary of a great personality. Her death was the final event which ended her reign. The 19th century was a time of many great inventions and thoughts. The invention of the steamboat caused a... I guess let's start the sentence again. All right. Joe, you know what's coming, right? The invention of the steamboat caused a network of rivers to spring up. Cyrus McCormick invented the McCormick raper, which did the work of 100 men. Samuel Morse invented a code of telepathy. Louis Pasteur discovered a cure for rabbis. Charles Darwin was a naturalist who wrote The Organ of the Species. Madman Curie discovered radium. And Karl Marx became one of the Marx brothers. The First World War, caused by the Assignation?
I don't know.
Assignation of the Archduke by a serf.
Archduck.
I'm sorry. Of the Archduke by a serf. S-U-R-F. Ushered in a new era. E-R-R-O-R in the annals of human history. And unfortunately, that's about it.
That's in World War I.
It's a history
I'm
lesson.
running the rest
World
of
War
it
II
now.
was a joke by itself.
It's a history lesson for the evening.
Those are all mistakes Pat made in high school.
Janet, did you
No,
notice
I only made
any
about half
grammatical errors in that at all that you'd like to
Wait,
comment?
right, for copies, isn't it?
Yeah, where can we get?
Doesn't
For
say.
transcripts, send.
I guess you can Xerox this one.
That's an idea.
I think that was the question.
I should have a copy of it at home. I could send it to you.
If we only had a copy of it here.
I know.
Does anyone know what's next, or how can we top that?
Well, you have the schedule.
I had this kid.
Why don't you keep putting that schedule down?
I'll be sure and tell my friend at work that everyone enjoyed that really well. So I'll thank him for
I'm
that.
dead serious when I say do right like that.
Right now.
What grades? I won't. I'll just. Can I tell them your feet?
Family Feud.
I teach 11th
Oh,
and
we
12th
changed that.
11th, 12th grade English?
science.
Oh, science. Okay.
Matt, can I be Charles Nelson, right?
Oh, sure. Are we playing match game 89?
I guess because we can't play Family Feud. Because he said we can't.
Where's Victor? Where's Victor?
Where's Victor?
Yeah.
He's in the hall.
Match game is a great show.
I stopped watching Love Connection for one reason. Because that's character.